welcome to this episode of Keto Chat. I am Carole Freeman, your host. I am a certified, what am I? I'm a certified nutritionist, creator of the Fast Track to Keto Success program. I'm here today with this really cool, the device, but you're here too. I gotta introduce you. Jordan Spriggs of LEVL, that's the official name of the company,
yep,
LEVL now, okay. And got this really cool breath meter that we're going to talk about that shows you if you're actually burning fat or not. So it's pretty cool. So Jordan, you want to introduce yourself, or you tell us who you are?
Yeah, so I'm Jordan. Live here in Seattle, so not too far from Carole. Been working with LEVL now since February. We actually launched nationally May 2nd, and I'm the Northwest Territory Manager.
Awesome. So it's been a pretty fun ride. I mean, they're a pretty phenomenal company, right?
Yeah, it's been an awesome ride. Got to meet great people so far, a lot of good connections, and been able to attend a lot of events and had pretty good success so far, so it's great.
So tell us, how did they come up with this product? Like what, and I keep saying product, but it's a device, really,
It's a device
right?
product,
Yeah.
that's fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
So our founder, Brad Root, actually, who's works for a manufacturing company in Seattle, got to be, middle-aged and found that the fat doesn't come off as easy as it used to, so he hit the white papers and the literature and found out about, hey, you can actually monitor fat loss via acetone. So found some engineers and started, went to the drawing board and said, hey, let's see if we can create something to help people with their journey. And it took about 8 years, and now we're here.
8 years, wow.
Yeah.
Well, and I got to tour the plant back before you were on board, when they were still in development stage. And so we'll link that video down below in the show notes. But I've got to interview Brent, the GM of the company, back then when they were still in development phase. So now you guys have launched, you've got the real deal out there for everybody to try.
It's here.
So a lot of work went into developing this, and maybe we should just start out by doing a little demo and show people how it works. And I'm going to be the guinea pig today here, so we'll get to really test my fat burning status right now.
And what we'll do is we'll have you take a measurement, and then as we do it, I'll kind of talk about what's going on as the device is processing and analyzing your sample. And
I'm prepared as well to do a comparison of blood ketones. I've got my my Precision Extra here, so we're just going to do that for a comparison. The numbers are different because they're measuring different things, but it should give people an idea of what and you guys know now too, kind of what the numbers mean as far as fat burning too. So. We'll talk about that, whatever my number is.
All right. So do you want to go ahead and take a level measurement first?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll open this guy up. And so let me log into a profile here for you. So the LEVL Home, there's a home and a pro device. Okay. So before we take a measurement. So the LEVL Home actually has two users, a user 1 and a user 2. Whereas the LEVL, and then a guest as well. So the guest will just populate your measurement on the front of the device here on the interface. Okay. Whereas with the user 1 and user 2, if you see in the app here, trying to zoom in there, so it actually will populate all your data in the app, and then it has all the data points, all your historical points over time. So you can go back and look at your measurement from any day. It also has 7-day trends here. I'll show you. So it's got guest profiles, so it's not used every day, but it's got a bar graph on there. It has your 7-day trends, it has 30-day trends and annual trends as well. So it kind of allows you to understand what's going on and make those decisions to make sure you're doing what's best for yourself. Nice. Whereas the only difference, so the device is exactly the same, the Home and the Pro, whereas the Pro, you have an unlimited user base, so that's going to be for, nutritionists, dietitians, doctors, people at gyms, personal trainers. Okay. And then we also provide a LEVL dashboard, so it's all HIPAA compliant, password protected, but then in the dashboard, doctors or personal trainers will have data or access to everyone's data so they can provide coaching and accountability from those measurements.
Nice, sweet.
Yeah, so make sure we're good to go here. So I'll log into a guest profile and grab the breath pod for you. Okay. So what you're going to do, we teach the real comfortable, repeatable breath pattern, so you have a consistent measurement every time. So what you're going to do is inhale, nice deep breath, hold it for 5 seconds, and then exhale into the pod there. And just a comfortable exhalation is fine. Yeah, that should be good. So we'll take that. Now we're actually going to put the breath pod in the device. So now, I don't know if you can see on here, but the device is actually spinning around there. So what it's doing is actually pulling the sample from the breath pod over the sensor at a steady rate in an enclosed environment. and then it takes about 15 seconds to analyze, and then it'll populate your data on the front of here and also right in the phone here. So looks like we're right at a 6.1 part per million concentration. And with the 6.1, you can see over there that she, at this range, is burning 0.26 pounds of fat per day and also 1,100 kcals from fat per day as well.
Oh.
And
wow, so I didn't realize that it did that. It shows you how much fat you're actually burning at that number. Okay.
Yep, and then the kcals is actually calories from fat burned as well.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool, and then you can actually insert, if you see over here, it has weight and body fat. So if you know your body fat and your weight, you can actually insert that, and as you take measurements, it'll provide trends for your weight and body fat as well with correlation to your breath acetone.
Oh, so you can really gamify your fat loss, right? You're like, okay, I got a 6 today.
Yep.
I want to be higher tomorrow, so I got to tweak my diet.
Exactly.
And my training probably as well to get there. So
Yep, and we've actually found too. So the science, if you go back to the white papers, if you can maintain a 2 part per million concentration for 1 week, you should burn half a pound of fat per week. If you can maintain a 4 part per million concentration for 1 week, you should burn a pound of fat per week. Okay. So it's pretty cool. A direct correlation with breath acetone and body fat burned.
Nice.
Yeah,
really cool.
And the nice thing too about the device is the sensor, we replace the sensor once a month, and that guarantees clinical accuracy, and then we calibrate the device every 2 weeks. So we have calibration cylinders, a low and a high, which is a known concentration of 2 parts per million and 4 parts per million. Okay. And then that's how we can really guarantee clinical accuracy. So it's got half part per million variance in regard to the mass spectrometer, so it's highly accurate.
Wow. And so is that something that people do? So you have this available for the home device. So is that something people do themselves, or do you have to come out and?
Yeah, no, we give you, that's part of the monthly subscription. So we actually send you a new sensor every month, and then send you calibration canisters every month. Okay. Or the calibration canisters actually come quarterly. They last about 10 calibrations. Okay. But it's super simple. So rather than just like how you took a breath sample, you would put it right on here for about 3 seconds, put it in, close the lid, and then it's going to do the same thing, analyze, and then it'll say there's a calibrate low and a calibrate high. You do both. So it takes about 6-7 minutes for the total process. Okay. And then it's ready to go.
Super easy.
Yeah, and that's another nice thing too. Like someone will take a measurement and say, oh, I blew, a 14, and say, oh, I shouldn't be that high, elevated or whatnot. And there's like, this isn't accurate. Well, then the nice thing, you can take the known calibration, put it in there as a measurement. It should say, hey, it's reading right at a 2 on the low, or if you use the high calibration, it should be right on a 4. So then you know the device is doing what it's supposed to be doing as well.
Yeah, cool. So what are some things that can give you false positives?
So some
or is there only one thing?
There are a few known contaminants, so you want to stay away from if you have alcohol in your system, just because the molecule mimics acetones based off its size, it can come out in the breath. So alcohol could give you a false high measurement. Also, if you just had gum, mints, mouthwash, any of those things, pretty much anything that ends in OL, the molecule will mimic acetone, so it could give you a false high reading. So if you have alcohol, you want to wait till it's out of your system to take a measurement, but if you had gum, mints, mouthwash, throat lozenges, you want to at least wait about half an hour and then rinse your mouth for a few seconds with water, and then you should be good to go.
And alcohol probably the next day.
Yeah, alcohol probably the next day. I mean, unless you just had a beer or a glass of wine, you should be fine after about an hour. Okay.
Yeah. Well, just for fun comparison, because I know people are going to be curious, like, how does this compare to the blood one? So I'm going to do a blood test here live. I have not done this today, so I don't even know what the number's going to be. And then what we'll talk about that too is it's going about advantages of using this versus blood ketones. Yeah. And so I can show you guys. Some people are going to be wondering how you can do it, but you got to make sure you drink lots of water first. I have not eaten anything today. I've had coffee only.
Hydration will help.
Yes. You're going to insert the thing in the bottom here. And hope nobody's too squeamish at seeing blood on.
Yeah, it's a little invasive.
Yeah, right, and it hurts a little bit too, right?
Yeah, that's the real nice thing too about the LEVL device versus taking blood.
That didn't hurt at all.
It didn't hurt at all, and yeah, pretty much anyone can deliver a breath sample in any setting, so there's no blood that needs to be drawn. And the real thing, I mean, it's not bad, the prick, but over time, once you take a lot of measurements via blood, you guys know who measure via blood that, your finger starts to become bruised after a while, especially if you're measuring every day, and then it does start to get pretty irritating.
Yeah, and for people that really are, data people and they want to have a lot of data points, right? Like if you want to test before a meal and after a meal. Okay, so there's my my blood ketones at 1.6, which is nutritional ketosis, right in that 1 to 3 range. So or, you know, we look at 0.5 or higher, but I generally coach people that between 1 and 3 is going to be kind of that well-formulated ketogenic diet. So that's a comparison there of that. And but yeah, people who want to, you know, be checking before a meal and they want to, you know, see what the food affected them with. Like this one, you can test unlimited times during the day.
That's what's nice, especially if you're a biohacker or you really want to get dialed in. Say, hey, you want to learn how every single food you eat affects you. The nice thing about the LEVL device is you can take as many measurements throughout the day as you want throughout the month, and it's not at no additional charge. So with the monthly subscription, we replace your sensor every month, send that to your door. And then you can take unlimited measurements on the one sensor each month. So,
and then there's no hazardous waste material to dispose
no hazardous waste material, and it helps with the cost as well. So it's nice in that regard. Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about you know, who's a good person, like who's a good fit for using this?
Yeah. So we've it's nice. We've got a big range of clients. So we sell to a lot of doctors, a lot of MDs, a lot of nutritionists, dietitians. Naturopaths, physicians, a lot of gym owners or personal trainers, so it's great in that setting as well. So it's a true accountability tool and can provide wonderful coaching.
The machine doesn't lie.
The machine doesn't lie, yeah, that's right. So, you know, a lot of people right now in gym setting, it's, hey, you know, well, how do you guys provide accountability? It's through a diet log, and it's, you know, it's easy to forget the piece of cake you had last night. And then it really allows, you know, personal trainers to really coach more efficiently and effectively, because then rather than saying, okay, well, you've been doing everything I'm saying, you know, I don't know, you know, this should be working, now we've got to change and alter our program, whereas now you know exactly what they're doing, you know, or if they're lying or not, you say, hey, well, they forgot that piece of cake, so this is, or, you know, nightly, or, you know, a lot of people will reward themselves, say, hey, you know, I was doing great today, I ate good, went to the gym today, so I'm going to reward myself with some ice cream or chocolate at night or whatnot, and not really understanding that once you have, you know, a certain amount of sugar, that it's actually going to have a negative effect on your fat metabolism, especially if you're not fat adapted. It might take you 3 to 8 days even to get into that fat burn state, so people don't understand that, and that's why this is so effective, because you visually have your measurements and you can see. So you might be at a 4 part per million one day, and then tomorrow, you know, you come back into the gym, take your measurement, and now you're back down to a 1.2 or whatnot, and say, hey, you know, what's going on? So it allows you really to have those conversations and hold people accountable, which is great as well.
So what's the cutoff? You know. On this, you know, what number is going to be kind of the minimum you want to see for fat burning?
Yeah, so if you want to be fat burning and start to become fat adapted and work towards nutritional ketosis, you want to be a 2 and above. So really, a 2 is right when your body transitions into using fat or metabolizing fat as a fuel source rather than carbs and sugars. So anything below a 2 is going to be a mix of carbs and sugars, and anything 2 and above is when you're actually going to be using fat as a fuel source.
Okay, and that kind of equates to a roughly 0.5 on the blood ketones? Is that
so about nutritional ketosis, about 0.5 on blood ketones, going to be right around 8 parts per million.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're actually doing a study right now, should be published in the next 30 to 45 days on the blood and breath comparison.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, because I know that's the thing that people always want. Like, how does it compare to this or that? And there are some differences and things that influence one. They're not directly correlated, but that'll be super. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool study, so it should be out soon.
Yeah. You also, besides like clinical applications of it, so what are some ideal, you know, patient populations, or just like every average day person, like who are the people you see that are buying this and loving this?
Yeah, so a lot of people who struggle with weight loss, or, you know, just not even struggle, but hey, you know, is on a weight loss journey, say I want to lose, you know, 20 pounds, so they're going to buy the device, and it really cuts down all the guessing, and so nutrition and exercise as well, but people with weight loss, and then also people who have, you know, certain conditions, maybe it's type 2 diabetes, epilepsy, dementia, Alzheimer's. Being on a ketogenic diet, obviously, as you know, has great effects for those health outcomes. So by monitoring your acetone levels, you should actually be able to reverse some of those effects in certain diseases. So those are going to be a lot of people. Also, endurance athletes is wonderful for because you know, ketogenic diets are great for that as well. You get a larger fuel source if you've got a, you know, bigger tank in a sense. So if you can become in, you know, elevated state of fat metabolism and be a fat burner, then you're going to have probably better athletic performance in that regard for a lot of endurance athletes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And so I know that as you guys that work at the company have, you know, used the device yourself, a lot of you have changed your diet based on that and had some changes in your body. I know that your marketing is it marketing director?
Yeah, Courtney.
Yeah, so she shared with me before about how, started working with the company, and she'd been a runner for a long time, and couldn't figure out like why she had this extra. I think it was about 10 pounds she couldn't figure out, because I eat really healthy and I run all the time. Like, why do I have these extra 10 pounds? And so she started working with the device, and she dialed in her diet, cut back on carbs, and she actually cut back on running. And she said then the weight came off, and it was like just this mystery for so many years. And so how about for you? How have you changed?
LEVL has been awesome for me. So right when I started working for the company, I said, hey, I want to be in a fat burning state and become fat adapted. And so I try to maintain a 2 always, and I was pretty good. And I'd get up to 3.5, and I'd be there for a few days, and I'd eat 4 Samoa Girl Scout cookies. And for myself, I'd eat 4 Samoa Girl Scout cookies and drop from a 3 to a 1.4. And it'd take 2 more days from being a 1.4. It'd take me 2 days just to get back to a 2 of making healthy
cookies, decisions. It takes 2 days to get back to fat burning.
Like so everyone's different. But for myself,
right.
So sugar just killed my fat metabolism. So and also processed carbohydrates as well. So I pretty much cut out all processed carbohydrates and sugar, and I'm down from 187 to about 173 pounds now. So
wow, 15 pounds and
yeah, in the matter of, it wasn't long. I've only been working with the company since February.
Okay.
I cut it out. This was probably 2 months ago. I got down, about lost 8 pounds in a matter of a few weeks. Having used the device. What
else have you noticed? How you feel, energy?
I feel great. I don't really have food cravings anymore. I haven't eaten today, actually. So I feel great. I have a lot more energy, mental clarity, mental cognition. It's wonderful. Yeah,
I can imagine that, all the people you're working with, like how much more productive.
Productive
you guys are, all being on the same page. With, optimizing your body's performance.
And so not even just nutrition, but exercise plays a huge role as well, obviously, as you know. But so exercise, we found, like, kind of similar to Courtney's story. A lot of people, hey, what do you do for exercise? And they're like, oh, we go to the gym and go get on the treadmill and run 5 miles every day, and that's what I do. And it's like not really understanding that all the endurance exercise releasing, causes stress on the body, then releases cortisol, and then you maintain all your glycogen stores. You're not actually able to burn fat. So we found a lot of people, are having more, being more efficient just walking a mile a day than running 5 miles a day, and actually helping boost their fat metabolism without the added stress on their body. So it's pretty cool, just the insights that it gives you and allows you to make conscious decisions to make sure you're doing what's best for yourself.
Yeah. Total control and flexibility, and like we've talked about, because you can test so many times a day, I can imagine you can actually dial your diet in a little easier and faster, right?
Yeah.
So you can test before a meal, eat a meal, and you'll know right after that meal whether that killed it or not.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like with blood, if you eat a high-fat meal, you're going to see it almost instantly because it goes into the bloodstream quicker. Whereas this will take a few hours. It's got to metabolize and then be able to come out via your breath. So it will take a few hours to be a little bit delayed.
Okay.
So your measurements on here are really a good 12 to 24-hour snapshot. How everything you did yesterday, how it affects you today. But you can take multiple measurements throughout the day, and it will slowly over time start to adjust as well.
Okay.
But yeah, with being able to take multiple measurements per day, or at least a measurement per day, if you'd like, you can really start to understand what works best for you, and so you can really dial it in exercise-wise and nutrition-wise.
Yeah, nice. Well, and I'm sure some of the personal trainers it's kind of spinning some things that they used to tell people, around a little bit, like, and probably solving some of those puzzles that I know people have worked with people that are like, I'm only eating 1,200 calories a day, and I'm doing all the exercise, like, why am I not losing more weight? And I know. Yeah,
because then you can really dial it in. You say, okay, well, your 1,200 calories, what was really involved? And people, say, hey, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm eating healthy. It's like, well, what are you eating? Rice, chicken, and sweet potatoes. Like, well, a lot of carbohydrates and a lot of, sugar involved there. And people don't understand, hey, you need to reduce the amounts of your carbohydrates. And because people think it's, well, this is healthy food, but don't really understand the effect that it has on their fat metabolism. So this just helps streamline the process. And even when you go to a gym and get on a new or dietitian or nutritionist, and they put you on a program, say, hey, try this out for 3 weeks, and then we'll come back, sit down, analyze, and see if it's working. If not, we'll try something new. So now with the LEVL device, as you take measurements, daily what's working for you. So if it's not, you can switch it up. So it really just cuts down the time to help reach your overall wellness goals.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you don't have to wait till the end of the week to see what the scale says. Like,
exactly.
And for especially people I work with too, that the scale doesn't go down linear; it's all over the place, and so this gives you some more, confidence that what you're doing is actually, working, even though the scale is, not your friend. So
a lot of people, I mean, you get to the end of the week, step on the scale, and it might move a pound or 3 or whatnot. So, okay, well, did I gain water weight? Did I, or lose water weight? Did I gain muscle mass? You don't really know what's going on. So this, at least, daily you're burning fat, which is, ideal. Really the goal.
Yeah. Well, so what else were you hoping I would ask you about, or, do you think is important to talk about, or cover any other?
So we are, a local-based company here out of Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
And the nice thing, too, is we're a true American-made company, too. So we actually not only are we local-based out of Seattle, but we manufacture the devices in Seattle as well, which I know a lot of people, care about that rather than, outsourcing. So we, provide jobs here as well. And then it's a true, American-made good, which is nice as well.
You put a flag on the side of it?
Hey, we might be able to airbrush something on it for you. It's a UL listed device. It's FDA registered device, so it can be used in a clinical setting as well. So I think those are really some important things as well.
Yeah. Well, can you share any of the things you guys have in the works or plans or anything, or is that all top secret about what else may be coming? Or
yeah, there is. I'm not sure of exactly everything that's going to be coming through. But they are working.
On a need to know basis.
No, they are working on. A version 2 of the device, so the body and everything is going to be exactly the same. And the nice thing too is since it's all app based, we can actually any new firmware updates that come out can be updated through the app. So
awesome,
you don't have to get a whole new device or whatnot. So we can actually update remotely in a sense, which is nice. And then coming later down the road, so we originally just had iOS, so it's only compatible with any iOS device.
Oh, okay.
But within the next few weeks, we're actually going to be launching our Android app. It might even be sooner than that. It should be any day now, which is pretty awesome.
Nice.
So it'll be available for Android, and then iOS can be used on any iOS device, which is nice. And then also down the road, we'll probably open up to an open API, so you can use our platform with other apps, and they can communicate with each other as well.
Oh, cool. Nice. Awesome. Well, anything else? We covered all?
I'm trying to think here. I know, we did cover a little bit there. I don't know. Do you have any other questions?
Well, I only have one final question that I ask everybody I do an interview with.
Yeah.
It's your final day on the planet. The meteor's coming today. We're all going to die.
Whew.
What's your final meal?
What's my final meal? I'm a big steak guy, so I might have to take like half a A5 Wagyu tenderloin and just indulge in that.
Smoked on
the Traeger.
Smoked.
Yeah. I don't know. Possibly.
Yeah.
I'd say rice, nice medium rare. I think that might be it. I don't even need any sides with that.
Okay.
I love broccoli, but I think I'd be good with just big old piece of meat.
Yeah. Nice. None of those Samoa cookies or anything.
No Samoas. What about yourself?
Oh man, people always ask this. We were talking about this the other night actually too. So I might have to go this time. Usually I'm going for a steak, but we talked about those scallops. So it might be scallop. Maybe I'm gonna do both scallops and a nice medium rare fillet. That's my cut. So
can't go wrong.
Yeah. Maybe some veggies on the side with lots of butter or something like that. But maybe just the scallops and steak. So
sweet. You're making me hungry.
Hey, Jordan, thank you so much for being here. This is really awesome. I appreciate all the demo and all the information you've given. And so we're going to put contact info below in the show notes so that if you want to grab one of your, find out where you guys, because you guys are going to a lot of conferences, you can try the device in person. That's a good question. So what do you guys have set up for, like, if somebody's watching this and they're just a home user, like, what's the best way that they can try it out? Like, is there a way they can try it before they buy it, or?
You could contact us and see if we have any local gyms or doctors in your area that might let you come in and take a measurement at no cost or whatnot. Or, if you're in the Seattle area, we'd be happy to meet with you. And we can also do virtual demos. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to try it for yourself, but we could show you how it works. If
that app's coming soon, right?
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of, Join Me or whatnot, and even Skype, but we can do virtual demos where at least you can see the device, see how it works, be able to ask questions. We can answer them for you. So,
cool.
But we've got a lot of devices throughout the country now, so there should be somewhere in your area that has a device that we might be able to connect you with where you can take a measurement.
Yeah, perfect. All right, well, we'll put the contact info below so that people can reach out and get a demo themselves and ask questions and all that. So if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. We've got lots more great interviews and topics coming up soon, but Thanks for watching.
Thanks,
That's all for
guys.
now. Bye.